So now let me quickly review Dig Kong. I'm just kidding. Impact Dile. They're actually like the same color green. They're different, but the heads are different. D for Dig Kong and I for Impact Dile. Impact Dile was actually one of the figures that really got me interested in the line because his moans just look so cool. He just looked like a lot of fun. And who doesn't want an Impact Dile? So, let's see. I'm missing one piece. No, I'm not. So, Impact Dile is a crocodile type thing. Here's his crocodile head. And he's also a digging type, a drill tank. Thing about this part, it has a bunch of holes in it and a little slot right there. And you can put it in here, and that slot will tab in. Put it in here and it'll be loose. So it's an interesting way to make the part shorter, but still tight. And he's got some more legs he wants to get pegged on. And of course, he would like to have a tail. So, the drill pieces come together. And, oh, maybe now I am missing a piece for real. Oh, here it is again. And they attach to this tail base, or drill base piece. This thing spins contingent on this little piece spinning. And this piece, the spinal column, sort of locks it in place so it doesn't spin. It can rotate, but it doesn't spin freely. And that whole assembly will drop right in and lock in place. And there we go. One Impact Dile. I think he looks pretty cool. I like the treads on him. It just is a nice touch. The drill tail, this nice cool little spine saw. He looks cool. One thing I don't like is this little piece dropping down here. Looks like, if you're not really genitals, but it just doesn't look good. It's part of his head, but I wish this thing could have folded down, or maybe it didn't stick out. I don't think it sticking out helps in any mode, including the Super Robot mode. He is kind of loose. This thing doesn't clamp down anywhere. I wish it really would actually clamp into the head, but it doesn't. And the thing that kind of weirds me out is, to me, I see this as like the hip and the knee and the lower leg. So it looks backwards. But Mugenbine, in its great wisdom, has many different ways for you to transform and adjust your figure. So you can do whatever you want. And I'm not sure if I like this any better or not, or if I like it there. Maybe that's a little better. That's obviously not better. So maybe... Oh, and you can even do it like that. But that makes his tail look too short. So I guess I like that. Oh, and I just dropped Gear Tortoise and shattered him on the floor. And as many pieces as he came packaged in. We'll get him in a minute. So there's his Impact Dile mode. I think it's pretty cool. The crocodile head's pretty cool. That thing kind of bothers me, and I wish the setup was just a little different with the legs, but whatever. So, onto robot mode. Now, like all of these guys, this is going to be your base for robot mode. And you are going to have animal head on the chest plate. At least it doesn't stick out like this. A lot of them, the animal head sticks out like that, and this guy, fortunately, pegs in. What you hear in the background is my pigeons freaking out about something or other. Legs become legs. Surprise. But interestingly, the arms are in two parts. The drill parts and the arm parts. And it goes together for a pretty cool effect, I think. Oh, that's backwards. So you can actually finish him right there, or stop right there, but he's got a couple more parts. The spinal piece clips on there and is actually, I think it actually looks pretty cool and is out of its way. You can use the Mugenroid head if you want, but he's got the super head you can also use. Which he looks pretty cool either way, I think. So there he is in his super robot mode. And he doesn't have any weapons, but I think he still looks pretty cool. I love the drill halves, the way they stick up like that. His articulation's pretty good. He looks, I mean, even the treads, the little silver lining on the treads looks great. This is one thing I don't like. The head doesn't sit flush. It sticks out, and it's just necessity, I guess, because of the way these holes are. You couldn't have these holes and these holes without it sticking out a little bit. But I do think he looks pretty cool, and hold on and I'll get some weapons for him that I just dropped. So I was going to show size comparison of the Gear Tortoise, but I just dropped them. So we'll do size comparison with Zord Elephant. You can get a couple of weapons, and you think, oh, I can just peg them in here. But no, these are just screw holes. These aren't actually holes that you can peg anything into, which is kind of frustrating because they could have made it a little bit wider and it would be a screw hole. So you peg things into his forearm, which looks kind of silly. Incredibly bad, I think. So I'm really not pleased about that. That's actually probably my biggest complaint about him, is that his these aren't actually fistles. I think they could have been. Maybe it was a structural thing. Now this guy, just like a bunch of the other guys that came out at the same time, can combine with Arc Tiger. And I don't have Arc Tiger, so where is it? Yeah, so he'll form this thing with Arc Tiger. And also there's a mode where the drill sticks out of Arc Tiger's chest. And it looks terrible. This thing actually looks pretty cool. I've looked at the instructions before. It leaves out a lot of parts. But there are things you can do to actually recreate that. There's a lot of things you can do to recreate that. So first thing we need for a drill tank is, of course, a drill. And I think the way that I settle on that I like the best was like this. But there are a lot of different ways you can do it. Now the treads will come into play. Finally. And you can just peg that into his back. So there, I think that's actually a pretty good standalone drill tank mode. Doesn't have the bulk that this thing does, but it also doesn't leave out any parts, and it doesn't require you to have Arc Tiger, which I don't really care for. I mean, this thing is even actually, oops. It's even actually on the knee joints a little bit, so you could angle it so he could dig a hole or whatever. And this thing, to me, looks like it could be a conveyor belt that dumps the dirt out the back. You can even put it like that if you like that better. So I think he's actually a pretty cool guy. The same exact color as Dig Kong, so their combinations look pretty good. I don't really have much else to say about him, so there's already some other reviews of him. So buy this guy, he's cool. Hooray!